This story is all about Sandwich. Here we go. This is Sandwich. He is a walking, talking ham salad sandwich. He has 2 eyes, 2 arms, and 2 legs, just like you and me. He lives in a country called Foodland, which is a place full of funny looking houses. Sandwich lives in a funny shaped house. His house is shaped like a bread bin. Now, can you remember who else lives in a house shaped like a bread bin? Yes, of course, it's Bread. Bread and Sandwich were good friends. They both went to school at Hot Dog High. They were in Mr. Mash's class. Everyone was in Mr. Mash's class. It was enormous. Today, Mr. Mash had some exciting news. It's a science field trip tomorrow, he smiled happily. The whole class groaned with disappointment. Nobody liked going on field trips, especially Sandwich and Bread. The big problem was that wherever they went, someone or something tried to eat them. This week's trip is all about biology, continued Mr. Mash enthusiastically. The class groaned again. We will be undertaking some surveys, he added. The class groaned even louder. They didn't like surveys. They were always so boring. But not this time. Tomorrow's survey was going to be very different and exciting too. I will let Mr. Mash tell you why. We are all going to be counting the animals at the Foodland Zoo, he said. The classroom groans turned into cheers of happiness. Woohoo! They all said. Everyone enjoys going to the zoo. Everyone, that is, apart from Sandwich and Bread. The zoo is a place full of things that will want to eat them. But sir, do we have to go? Asked Bread nervously. He was hoping that he could stay behind at school, or even better, have the day off. Mr. Mash smiled. Yes, you do have to come with the rest of your class, he said. Next week we will be starting a brand new project about all the animals we see at the zoo and the habitats they live in. Won't that be exciting? Mr. Mash loved science, especially teaching his students about animals. Bread and Sandwich were less enthusiastic and sat sadly in their seats. Soon, some of their classmates started teasing them. Sir, are Bread and Sandwich going to get eaten by snakes and lizards? Joked Carrot. Don't forget the lions, tigers, monkeys and birds, added Sausage. Thank you, that's quite enough of that, said Mr. Mash sternly. Tomorrow we will make sure that Bread and Sandwich have a wonderful time at the zoo. Any more teasing and I will feed you to the lions myself. Ha! Chuckled Mr. Mash. The next day, Mr. Mash and his enormous class arrived at the Foodland Zoo, ready to begin their animal surveys. Mr. Mash split his students into groups. Sandwich and Bread were in a group with Carrot and Sausage. Their first survey was counting the snakes and lizards in the reptile arena. Carrot and Sausage were going to play a trick on their friends. Something slithered onto Bread's shoulders. Ah! Look out, Bread! Shouted Sandwich. There's a snake on your shoulder! Don't panic, he said. Poor Bread stood shaking on the spot. Luckily, Mr. Mash was close by and heard the commotion. Sir! Bread is about to get eaten by that snake, laughed Carrot. Please don't let it eat me, sir, said Bread. Don't worry, smiled Mr. Mash. It's not real. It's just a toy. Looks like Carrot played a naughty trick on you. Before Mr. Mash had a chance to speak to Carrot, he ran off into the next room with Sausage. That was funny, they chuckled together. Next, Sausage played a naughty trick on Sandwich and put a pretend spider in his lunchbox. Poor Sandwich fell off his seat. Naughty Sausage. At the big cat enclosure, both Carrot and Sausage wore masks and jumped out from behind the wall. Roar! They said. Bread and Sandwich were so scared they hid in the loo. The tricks continued all afternoon, and Bread and Sandwich were not the only ones to fall victim to them. Egg, Milk and Strawberry got spooked in the Batcave. Spud, Beans and Chocolate were chased out of the monkey hut by some scary-looking chimpanzees. Well, we know who's inside those chimp costumes, don't we? Yes, it was Carrot and Sausage. Soon they had tricked the whole class. But what Carrot and Sausage didn't realise was that they had been watched the whole time. Every trick went into the book. Mr. Mash's book. Mr. Mash had a plan to teach Carrot and Sausage a lesson for all their naughty tricks. But to find out what that plan is, you'll have to wait until the next story. I hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you next time.